Hello everybody, my name is Richard Vigorelli and I am your guide for everything Chinese medicine. And I set it all up so us Westerners can figure it out. Today, got something else here. I was walking around in the mall doing a little bit of pre-holiday shopping and I found this. Let me bring it in so you can see that. It's all about strokes. This is a kind of a big thing. So it's given to me by the American Heart Association. By the way, if you want to become certified in CPR, they are the ones you want to go through. They have the best training for it. They have the most reliable training for it. They have things that, actually work. Don't use Red Cross. They suck. Anyway, moving on. All right, so in regards to stroke, there's some things that they do advise for you, and I am going to go into a Chinese medicine thing with this as to what's going on. All right? Most important thing with the stroke is to try to avoid getting one, and this is how you do it. You want to manage your blood pressure, your glucose, and cholesterol. That way, there's not a problem. What's glucose? That is your blood sugar. This is, how sweet it is. There is a such thing as too sweet. If you're eating a lot of candy, sucking down a lot of soda, a lot of carbs, a lot of bread, etc., you're going to have a much higher glucose level. That can cause some problems. Goes into a thing called osmotic pressure. Water gets pulled out or sucked in and what have you. Big problems with that. Okay? Next bit, you need to sleep. I understand that, I can go to bed at midnight and get up at 4 a.m. and I'm fine. No, you're not. Your body's just used to feeling like crap. Okay? I understand, you want to get out and do stuff. Dude, you need to sleep, and you actually need to have restful sleep, because that's when your body recovers. Okay? There is no substitute for a good night's rest. Sorry. Okay? Please stop the smoking. That's the third one. Please do. If you don't want to have a stroke, please don't smoke. Well, George Burns smoked and drank all the time. Yeah, I'm aware of that. He's an outlier. By the way, that also goes for vaping. We got a brand new lung disease springing up everywhere because people are inhaling hot aerosolized oil and water directly into their lungs, and what do you know? It's burning their lungs. Along with that, limit alcohol intake. It's okay to have a drink once in a while. That's cool. Don't get drunk. Okay, you need to have a good diet, so avoid greasy, avoid heavy, avoid unnecessarily sugary, avoid unnecessarily spicy foods. Sorry guys, I know the jalapenos are awesome and they give flavor to the food, but you're eating them way too much. Right so. And if you're having problems concentrating, it's okay to stop. It is okay to put down what you've been doing. Get away from the computer, get away from the phone, get away from the tablet, turn off the TV. It's fine to just sit in a room and do absolutely nothing. It's called monitor cognitive changes. Okay? Also, go outside and talk to people. Don't spend all day moving from one computer to another. Okay? Join a meetup group. I've got it. Go play Pokemon Go. It's okay. Nobody's going to think less of you. If they do, who cares what they think? It ain't your problem. Okay? And also, lose some weight. It's going to help out a lot. Now, I myself am a little bit overweight because I spent 2 years chained to a desk talking to people on the telephone, and I really didn't have the time to get out and do it, and I'm in my mid-30s now, so my metabolism is a little bit slower than it used to be. So if I want to lose weight, yes, I do need to cut my calorie intake, but I also need to move around. I need to go outside. If it's too cold to go outside, go to the mall, walk around. Just walk around in a circle for a couple hours. People think less of you. So, who cares? Okay? So, as far as exercise goes, you're going to need anywhere from 2 to 3 hours per week. It doesn't have to be sequential. You can break it up. 20 minutes here, 30 minutes there, 5 minutes here, 10 minutes there. It works really well. What I like to do is take myself out for a nice quick, kilometer or two at least in a day. Helps out quite a bit. It at least stems the tide. That's a hell of a lot better than nothing. Okay? And eat a good diet. Avoid things that come from, have a commercial. Okay? If you're always eating out, you're going to get sick a lot faster and a lot easier. Okay? Now, with all that, Dr. Soapboxing out of the way, let's talk about the Chinese medicine part of it. All right? So, there's two kinds of strokes. There's a wet stroke and a dry stroke. A wet stroke is where the blood vessel actually bursts in your head and that part of the brain dies. Dry stroke is where a blood vessel in the brain cavity is clogged with blood, most usually a clot, and everything downstream dies, or at least gets real close to it. Okay? The way you know that a person has had a stroke is they sag, part of their body will sag out suddenly, they won't be able to think straight, they won't be able to move, they won't be able to talk, a bunch of other stuff. Just call 911 and go from there. Okay? In Chinese medicine, we refer to that anything abnormal in the functioning of the body outside of other things is phlegm. I have a video on phlegm. Feel free to go ahead and watch it. Okay? Phlegm basically does whatever phlegm wants. And a sagging face is phlegm. Okay? So in Chinese medicine, when we treat people for a stroke, there is actually a protocol that we follow because it works. It works really well. I've used it. And those nice, pretty needles that I use in my usual practice, those 38 gauges, those won't do a blasted thing. I may as well take a glass of water and throw it on a forest fire for as effective as those needles are going to be. I need to use the thickest gauge I possibly can and have them still be filiform and, not nails. Okay? So I usually will use a 26 gauge needle. That's what we call a honker. Okay? It's going to be applied to the affected side of the body, especially if they had the stroke a while back. And we use what is called an aggressive needling technique. The reason why we do that is because we need to completely wake up the nervous system and the vascular system. To do that, the body has to perceive an attack and create some kind of repair response. Okay? This is so that the flaccid limb can finally get some movement to it. Okay? And we need to keep doing that. We need to do it until the patient is in pain. Okay? I know it sounds like torture, and it does suck, but it's really the only way to get the response, because that part of the body is so far gone. The body has to be freaked out so that it can repair itself. Okay? That's how we treat stroke in Chinese medicine. There is always a phlegm component to it, and we always set what is called an anchor point on the leg at a point called stomach 40. That is the go-to point for phlegm. Depending on what is affected in the stroke will also depend on what other points get used. A lot of the times we'll just chase nerve roots and go from there and just try to wake stuff up as best as we can. Several of my professors worked in strokes when I was in school, and I actually got the chance to sit in on one. The guy came in, totally flaccid out on one side of his body. At the end of the treatment, his tenacity was not returned exactly, but he could kind of sort of move. And that was his first treatment. Over the next few weeks, I did this 2 or 3 times a week, I think. If I remember the case correctly, he finally got decent and predictable basic movement after about 6 weeks of treatment, which ain't bad. Okay? So when it comes to stroke, the sooner you act, the better. Okay? Anyone in any form of medicine will tell you this. If you find somebody with a stroke, call emergency services immediately. Get the person to the hospital, get them stabilized, hopefully we can minimize damage. And then we can go through treatment to correct as much damage as we possibly can. You can use acupuncture, there's several other ways to do it, but you can do it. Okay? Strokes are not a death sentence anymore. And of course, the best one is prevention. Healthy heart, healthy brain leads to a good life. Okay? So, that is all I've got for you. If you are new to the channel, hit that big red subscribe button down below. I think it's over here somewhere now. Something like that. Maybe it's over here. I don't know. There's a bell right beside that. Feel free. Leave a like, leave a comment. You can also visit my website at vigintmed.com. That stands for Vigorelli, integratedmedicine.com. You can contact me there directly if you'd like. I'll see you then, guys. Okay? Bye.